Is the PE ratio a good indicator? Yes and no. For those who don't know, the PE ratio stands for price to earnings. In general, it measures how long you need to wait to see your money back. If a company makes $1 a year and its price is $10, you're going to wait 10 years to get your money back. The PE ratio is 10. The ratio is good at looking at individual companies that are relatively consistent. That means their earnings are very steady. It's not good for companies going through a turnaround where the profits have dropped, because then the ratio shoots up, so you don't know if you're looking at a turnaround or a bust. Also not great for tech businesses where earnings can explode to the upside. It's not also absolutely good or bad. For example, a PE ratio of 20 might be bad for a company that's very slow growing, but it might be standard for a business that has been growing earnings for a long period of time, so people know that they don't have to wait 20 years to get their money back, but because profits are growing at 15-20%, they're going to see their money back sooner. The ratio is also not good for looking at a US index. For example, here, the highest PE ratio was 120 measured in 2009. For those who don't know, May 2009 was close to the absolute bottom that the US index fell to during the credit crisis. That was actually the best time to invest in stocks, but the PE ratio of 120 would say, no, it's not, but it was. The reason why the ratio was so bad was because earnings over the last 12 months was extremely compressed because of the Great Recession. So any price was very high relative to the profits made in the last 12 months. A better indicator for a US index, which is a group of companies, is the Case-Shiller PE ratio, which looks at earnings over 10 years and averages it out. So any one bad year doesn't affect the ratio as much. You can see the highest that this ever reached was during the dot-com boom in '99, where it reached over 44. And you can see this ratio collapsed in 2009, which is also accurate with what happened. In general, when you buy the US index when the Shiller ratio is below 15, you did really well. And if you bought it when the ratio is above 30, you knew the party was going to end sooner or later. So again, the bread and butter PE ratio, which only looks at 12 months of earnings, is good with looking at individual companies that are very consistent, not turnarounds or fast growers. And the Shiller PE ratio is good for looking at the entire market in aggregate. Good luck, take care.